Well, hello, welcome to, it's 9 a.m. This is lunch. This is the first meal I'm sharing with you guys today, but I'll share with you what I had for breakfast a couple hours ago. But I'm just so happy that I want to eat vegetables again. Pregnancy is so weird. We're over halfway, but vegetables, like, for the last few weeks have been everything. So I have a huge bowl of lettuce. I'll be honest, I won't eat all of this at once. It's too much volume for my stomach, but I like to make it all at once and then eat whatever I want, put it in the fridge, and then it'll like kind of marinate, and then I'll finish the rest later. I'm out of most of my salad toppings. I'm gonna add this tofurkey oven roasted deli slices. I don't know, they taste pretty good in salads. I tried the Boca Burger thing. I haven't gone back for more. So I'll have some of these. If you're curious, 5 of these is 100 calories, 5 slices, and 13 grams of protein. So it's got a little bit of protein in there. So we'll add 5, 4, 5. I'm just trying to add different types of protein. So I keep trying new things. And then I usually don't rebuy anything. It's so funny. I'm like, let me try that. And then I don't rebuy it, but it's fine. I bought a couple packs of these and they're okay. They're better on rice cakes than they are a salad, to be honest. But I'm out of tomatoes. I'm out of like all my salad toppings. So we're just working with what we got. What else do I have? You were sitting on my pickles. I have not been into pickles since being pregnant, which is kind of weird because pickles are one of my favorite foods. But I got this dill ranch, and I thought pickle would be really good with it, so we're gonna try that today. These pickles are so cold. Also gonna put a splash of this in the bowl. Okay, like I was saying, this is like my first meal of the day. I eat like right now probably every 3 to 4 hours, and not very much because my stomach just like, it can't fit very much food. So this salad will be too much volume, even though it's not very many calories. I'll just eat a little bit and then come back to eat more later. It's kind of what I've been doing. If you have a Trader Joe's near you, this stuff is really good. I really love all of their dressings. This vegan Caesar is my favorite. I'm not vegan, I'm no longer plant-based, but I still love these. Okay, I had some leftover croutons, which surprisingly enough, I got at the Dollar Tree. They are gluten-free. I have never seen gluten-free croutons at a regular store. So I threw some of those in there. So we have like a whole head of lettuce, the dill ranch dressing, pickles, the deli slices, and then croutons. So I love salads right now. Like, salads are everything. So like I said, I literally have one of these, sometimes 3 of them a day, and I just put different toppings on them. And people on Instagram have asked like, oh, is it the Italian dressing? Is it the acidity? Honestly, I think it's the crunch and the romaine, because I've tried different kinds of salad mix and I just keep going back to romaine. So whatever it is, this is like the 3rd week of like, I have to have a salad every day, and usually it's in the morning. So I didn't have one this morning before I went to work because I didn't have time, if I'm being honest. So I'm gonna eat part of this, and then here, let me show you what I had for breakfast real quick. I had one of these. It's a Power Crunch bar in the salted caramel. I have been like living on protein bars because they're like the perfect size. They make me feel satiated. They're not overly sweet. They kind of taste proteiny, which oddly enough, I kind of like. I know like non-pregnant me would not like that, but for whatever reason I do. And this is like my favorite flavor. So I really like that it's kind of like salty and sweet, not overly sweet, but I had this for breakfast and that gave me 13 grams of protein. So let's do a protein counter right here for the day. 13 for this and 13 for the salad. I'm trying to aim for 100 a day. We'll see if I get there, but yeah, this is vegetarian in case you're wondering. Show you this real quick too. This I got at the dollar section at Target. It's like a little spindle, and I have stocked it with lots of different types of protein bars because you never know what I'm looking for. But I keep like my Go Macro bars. I have some like snacks, RX bars, different things. I keep this on hand, but I literally live on protein bars just because they're so convenient at work. And again, it's just like the perfect size. It's something that I'm always looking for. So for me, this has just been like a second trimester lifesaver, and I just keep this fully stocked. Hello, hello, hello. It's actually later on in the day. I have worked out, showered, got ready, and now it's like super gloomy and rainy, which I like the morning sunshine, partly cloudy so much better. And now I'm like, and I'm done. I love sunshine so much. I don't like clouds and rain, but I wanted to just kind of share my high risk doctor's appointment with you guys. I had let you guys know at the 16-week check-in that I filmed that I was labeled high risk at my regular OB office. I'll kind of like go through all that, but I thought I would give you an update. And for some reason, the YouTube short / reel that I posted, YouTube removed the sound on, so you can't even hear me talking. I know there's captions, so I left it up, but so many of you are like, where's the sound? I don't know. It was up and then YouTube removed it. Like 10, maybe 15 minutes later, I got a notification that the sound was removed. And I'm like, well, that's weird because it's my own voice. So I don't know. I just was too busy that day to re-put it up. I was at work and was like, well, and there was captions, so I was like, it is what it is. But I thought I'd give you an update. If you follow me on Instagram, if you don't, why not? But if you followed me over there, you probably already heard the update. But I thought I would give it to my YouTube friends as well, because I know not everybody has YouTube who has Instagram. Some people just follow me here, they don't have Instagram. Some people just follow me here and don't follow me on Instagram, etc., etc. But I thought I'd give you an update. So to kind of backtrack a little bit in case you are new here, hi, I'm so glad you popped into my video. I like to share pregnancy content to make it relatable. I know not every pregnancy is the same. Every pregnancy is completely unique, but I think a lot of times we can feel like we can relate to someone and it helps us feel less alone. I know personally for me, when I was in the sickness of the first trimester, when I lost one of our twins, IVF in general, just the medications, the hormones, all of that, I found some awesome friendships via Instagram because of so many people that were going through like things like me. Maybe not all the same as me, but you know, they were posting that they were really sick and I would be like, oh my gosh, me too. And then you kind of bond about that because you feel so much less alone. So I'm trying to make relatable pregnancy content to share that like not every pregnancy is like joyful and happy, and we don't have to just share the good parts, because part of life is the good, the bad, the ugly, the tears, the hurt, the anger, all of that. But at the end, you hopefully have this beautiful, wonderful baby to love on. That is the ultimate goal, right? To have this healthy baby. But it's okay to share that it's a challenge. It doesn't make you weak. It doesn't make you ungrateful. It doesn't make you less joyful. But let's be honest and real and say that there are challenges in pregnancy, and it's okay to talk about them and share about them because it does make people feel less alone. I've had so many people that have reached out to me via Instagram that have said, I feel so normal seeing your content because everybody in my real life acts like, you know, I'm a drag because they're like, you're sick? Well, I don't remember that. Whatever you choose to remember or not remember on your pregnancy, again, it's up to you. But like, this is real life. I'm gonna tell you right now that it's easier for me to say out loud, this sucks, and then get over it than hold it in, because when you hold it in and don't put it out there, you're giving it too much power. When I put it out there, it releases it, and then I can be like, okay, I said my piece, let's move on. But yeah, this pregnancy has not been easy for me at all. So getting labeled high risk through my OB office was, I will say, was defeating for me, because when I was at my IVF clinic, they did not label me high risk at all. They don't consider people who are going through IVF high risk. And typically, sometimes they will label you depending on your OB's office. Typically they won't label you high risk from that, but then sometimes they do. I've had women tell me both. I have friends who have told me both. I've had friends that have had multiple IVF babies and have gone to different OB clinics after their fertility clinic, and some of them will label them high risk and some of them won't. It just depends on your clinic. So if you are not labeled high risk, do not fret, do not be concerned. It's okay. My OB clinic just said IVF, check one. The second thing with me being high risk was my age. I'm over the age of 35. I'm 36. I'll be 36 when I deliver, so that was another check. These, by the way, are all just level 1 high risk. The way they assess us is level 1 through 5, 5 being the most high risk, level 1 being the lowest. The other thing that I had kind of against me, this is just talking about me, IVF, and age, I had elevated blood pressure every time I checked in at my OB's office. Now my husband would tell whomever the OB was, I think her OB or her, I think her blood pressure is high because she gets really anxious for appointments. We've been through a lot. IVF is no walk in the park. I think it's very, very common because you have no control over anything that's happening that you are a tad more anxious. I'm a more anxious individual in general. It's just who I am. I hate when people tell me to relax. I want to poke them in the eyeballs with a fork because I'm like, you can say that because that's your personality. I don't ever tell someone how to run their personality. So I'm just a more anxious individual, and not every appointment has gone smoothly or wonderfully. So I think it just kind of cranks it up a little bit. So he told our OB, like, I think her blood pressure is just like amped up because she's anxious. And they're like, well, we want to get her checked out anyway. So that was another factor. And then between weeks 11 and weeks 20, before I went in for my high risk appointment at week 20, I had lost 13 pounds. So I want to talk on that first. Put a pin in the blood pressure, we'll come back to that, but let's talk about the weight loss first. So it is, per my high risk doctor, it is more common than not actually to lose weight during pregnancy. The risk factor doesn't come in until the baby is showing signs of not getting adequate growth. If the baby is growing as it should, then it's unfortunate that the mama is losing weight, but typically it has to do with a plethora of things. It has to do with their metabolism, how sick they've been. He also said that our bodies will look at a baby as a parasite. I'm not meaning this in a negative way, but when you are literally growing another human, your body's flight or fight is on and your immune system is typically elevated. You have a lot more white blood cells because your body is trying its best to help you survive, but then also grow another human that it looks like at it as a parasite. So he said it is more common than not in his field to see women that have lost weight. However, the risk factor comes in if the baby is not on par with growth. So that's all he looks at. He's like, unfortunately, if you're not getting the nutrients you need because your baby's sucking them all out of you, sorry, like, you know, I can tell you eat more, but your metabolism might speed up. Until you've been pregnant, you don't know how your body's going to react, and every single pregnancy is different. I had so many women tell me on Instagram, it was really, really nice, say like, hey, I lost weight my 3rd trimester. I lost weight my 2nd trimester. Like, again, it's just those risk factors that they wanted to make sure we're okay. So I got checked off. We're good. It's okay. He even said, like, you might be less of a gainer now because you're off the hormones, you're back to working out, you're moving more, so your metabolism might be kind of amping back up, whereas before it might have been a little bit lower. The hormone meds that you're on for IVF can be really, really harsh, and a lot of times you can gain 8 to 12 pounds just being on a cycle of meds. And he said then you come off them and your body's trying to re-regulate through the meds, or through after the meds, through your own natural hormones. There's a lot of things that take place. So not everybody can say like that losing weight is bad. He gave me actually a really good example. He said, for an analogy, if you started your pregnancy at 100 pounds and you lost 30 pounds during that pregnancy, you've lost 30% of your body weight. You could be at risk because you could be losing a lot and also like maybe having even a small baby. Like that's drastic, but that would be higher on the risk scale. If you're someone who is 300 pounds who loses 30 pounds in your pregnancy, you're losing 3%. So if you think of that as a whole and kind of just take it as an individual, which I will say sometimes I don't feel that way at my regular OB office. I feel like more like the generic, you're a number, this is the overall perspective that we're looking for. You meet these criteria in these boxes, now go see this person. Then I get to high risk clinic and they are so wonderful, so kind, so knowledgeable, and I wish they delivered because I would just sit there. I have a lot of friends who have done IVF before me, are currently in the same like trimester as me, or currently like through the meds, and they have high risk doctors that they go to. They're just as wonderful as mine because we talk about all this stuff, and theirs deliver. Mine doesn't. Mine is just a specialist, so you just check in with him. Okay, so for me overall, he was like not concerned. When it came to blood pressure, my husband kind of said the same thing to him, and he said, let's check your blood pressure after we meet today, because I had an assessment. We met with a genetic counselor. My assessment was basically like just, you know, height, weight, blood pressure checks. I don't think they ran any blood work that day. And then we did the anatomy scan. So he was like, after we're done meeting and doing everything today, let's take your blood pressure and let's see. Like, cause he said, I can guarantee you a lot of times women come in here and they are thinking something is wrong. And so they are more anxious, they're more nervous, and their blood pressure's up. So we checked it when I left. It was elevated when I got there, and it was down. It was fine. He was like, we'll keep an eye on it because unfortunately, I've said this before, but with IVF, it is more common to have preeclampsia. So you'll show signs of elevated blood pressure, and then sometimes it will go high. I just have elevated. There's a difference between elevated and high. So right now he's not concerned with it. He's like, you know, he did say like we keep an eye on it because if it is preeclampsia, we'd see noticeable signs in the 3rd trimester. But he's like, if you keep working out, eating healthy, you know, your weight's in check, he's like, I think we'll be fine. So it was fine when I left that day. And then 2 days later, I went to my regular OB office for my 20-week appointment, and it was 121/80. So it was not elevated at all. I think just like meeting with him and seeing that for once I could check in and not feel like I was doing something wrong. That's been a big thing with this pregnancy. It's been very nerve-wracking and very like anxiety provoking for me, because I mean, either I go in and I'm really sick, or unfortunately we went in and we had a miscarriage, or the first time we went in, we're looking for heartbeats. Like there's always just been something. So it's been a lot. And I know a lot of mamas can understand that when they just are just anxious for good news. So a lot of times things just turn out right. So let's talk about baby. Baby is measuring perfect as of the 20-week appointment. The anatomy scan was wonderful. My OB office did want us to go to the high-risk center to do an anatomy scan because they wanted to do a fetal echiogram, but the doctor didn't feel that that was necessary because when he looked at the heart, he saw all 4 chambers, he saw it pumping good, he looked at the brain, he thought it was perfect. The brain is actually measuring at, what was it measuring at, like 26 weeks on a growth chart, because they like put, I don't know if you guys have had an anatomy scan or done one at the high risk clinic, I don't know if they're different, I don't know. They put like lights on the screen, so it'll show like, not lights, but it will be like color coded, if you will, where they'll show where the brain is working, because you'll see like the blue is for veins or arteries or something. I don't know. There's like, they show, I don't know how to word that, but they do the same with the kidneys and the bladder. They show it's working. I don't know. They put like colors up on the screen. I don't know. But baby was good. They said heart was about 80% developed. Brain was about 80% developed. And then like the lungs and the kidneys and everything were looking good. We saw baby's tummy was full, and then we saw the bladder was empty, and then we saw it fill up. It was really, really cool, honestly. We got to see baby in 2D, 3D, and 4D. And honestly, once you see your baby in 4D, it is so incredibly cool because you envision how that baby actually looks, because you're physically seeing your child with like fat and skin and, oh, it's wild, a nose and eyes and cheeks, and you're seeing the shape of your baby, and you see the characters, and you start to see if it looks like mom or dad. It was absolutely wild. Instead of 2D where it looks like a little alien skeleton. So that was really cool. The one thing that actually marked me from a high risk level 1 to a high risk level 2 was I have a 2-vessel umbilical cord. He said this is more common than not, but it does add a elevated risk factor because sometimes baby will not grow or develop as like it needs to. But he was really, really happy with where we were at 20 weeks. He said baby was perfect. So I will go in every few weeks for a growth ultrasound to make sure that baby is on the chart that he designed to make sure it is developing appropriately. With that being said, it's like one, he said, in like 10,000 where it might not develop as needed, but he's told me don't worry about it, you have no reason to worry, and when I tell you to worry, I'm going to tell you stop worrying because that's what you pay me for. So he was just really great. I've had a lot of people again on Instagram chime in and say that they had a 2-vessel cord, their baby was great. Again, it doesn't always means something's wrong. The reason they risk factor it in is because it has happened before, and this is the reason why. They see the correlation, but not always the causation is the 2-vessel cord. If you're wondering what a 2-vessel cord is, it is an abnormality typically within the umbilical cord. Typical umbilical cords are 2 arteries and 1 vein. A 2-vessel is 1 artery and 1 vein, so it's called a 1-in-1 or a 2-vessel, and it just means that your baby is not getting as many nutrients through the umbilical umbilical cord. But here's the thing, they can't actually physically see the real size of the umbilical cord. So what he said is I can take measurements and kind of estimate how big the umbilical cord is, but the way the color runs through the ultrasound, and then when they measure it, you're really only getting like, you know, if you're doing 2D or 3D, your measurement could be off. That's why when they measure babies and they're like, oh, your baby's gonna be X amount of size, and then they're really off and it ends up being like 3 pounds heavier, it's because they're just getting what they can see. So he said with the 2-vessel cord, a lot of times it's not an issue because the artery is actually bigger. So it's about the same size as it would be like if you have 1 versus 2, if that makes sense. But on the ultrasound, it just shows that, and then he said size wise, but really what they go off of is if baby is growing appropriately. So I will be going in for checks. The thing that he moved, because of the 2-vessel cord, he moved my due date up a week, and he said that if baby is not growing on schedule, then they will induce me or take me sooner. I personally don't want to be induced. It's just not something I want, but it is what it is at this point. Sometimes you just have to be flexible with your wants, I guess, with delivery. But they are going to take me no later than 39 weeks, and he said it could be even as early as 37, just depending on growth, because they don't want to restrict growth and then baby not get any nutrients and basically just kind of sit there and stall. As baby gets bigger, baby's going to need more, so they keep an eye on that. So we'll be going in for week 24, something like that, whatever the date is today, and then getting another ultrasound. So if baby is measuring smaller than what they want, we'll be going in once a week. If baby is on par, then we'll be going in every 4 weeks for right now until it flips at week 28. Then we'll be going in every 2 weeks. And it's kind of nice, if I'm being honest, to have the extra ultrasounds. Like, that is honestly so nice, because like I have friends that are pregnant and they get 1 ultrasound to check to see that it is a pregnancy, like, yep, confirmed pregnancy, and then they get another one at their anatomy scan and that's it. And I'm like, I want to see my baby every single time. Tell me baby's okay. Like, you can physically see me, so like, why aren't we getting more ultrasounds? Anyways, so that's my update. I will share with you what I had after my workout here, and then I'll share with you probably a snack and dinner, whatever else I have the rest of the day. But here is what I had after my workout. After my workout, I'm just gonna have this. It's the Mediterranean style lentil soup. It has 24 grams of protein. I really like this. I bought it a couple weeks ago, shared it on my other channel in a lunch video. But yeah, I'm just gonna have this really quick. I'm gonna warm it up and then go shower and get ready for the rest of my day. I have really been enjoying these. They're super convenient. And one nice thing is I don't have to cook like a ton at once. I can just grab this when I'm in the mood for it. So I really like having like convenient soups on hand like this. It's like thoughtless, and this tastes really good. I don't want it all the time. Like, I don't want it every day. I don't want to make like a huge pot of 10 servings because I would end up probably freezing some of it if my husband didn't eat it. But this is really nice to have on hand. And again, let's do a protein tally here. I know I'm like halfway to 100. So here's the protein tally for the day. Yes, I did run to the store and grab tomatoes because earlier when I had my salad, I really wanted tomatoes on it. So I'm gonna build a rice bowl. I don't have a protein source that I want to eat right now. So I'm just gonna build this, and I don't know, we'll see. I'm gonna eat the rice cold too on top of it. So this will have like a little bit of protein in it, but not like a ton. I don't even have any beans here that I want to eat. And I know I'm being picky, but I still have a lot of food aversion, so I eat what I can when I can. Tomatoes in there. I took green beans out, but I meant to take black olives out. I don't want green beans in this. I want black olives. I was like, wait a second. If I had chickpeas, that probably would be like the perfect thing to add to this. I don't have any, and all the other beans I have on hand that I have cooked do not sound good. So we're just gonna go with this right now. I mean, I try really hard to do protein at every meal, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. Sometimes you just have to go with what sounds good, what feels good, what you're going to be able to endure if you have food aversions. And this is what I'll have, and I'll make up for the protein later in my next meal. But yeah, I feel good so far where I'm at. So this will be like an early dinner, and then I'll have like another meal probably in a couple hours. Ending the night with the last piece of the pancake bake that I made on my other channel. I'll link that recipe video, but you can check it out. I have a piece of that, and then I'm also going to do a protein shake. This is the protein that I picked up over the weekend. I wanted to try something different, and so far I really like it. It has 22 grams of protein per serving. So I'm gonna do 2 servings of this, and I'm just gonna mix it with some oat milk. I'm not gonna share with you me mixing this. I'm literally gonna put it in a blender bottle, mix it up. The oat milk is from the Dollar Tree. It's actually pretty good. I know there's like a big controversy right now about oat milk, but I like it, so I use it. I also use unsweetened almond milk and sometimes sweetened almond milk. This is not technically a plant-based protein. It is a vegetarian protein, but I needed something new. I really like it, and I was told by all of my doctors that I can use a protein powder with my pregnancy to get my protein needs in, so I use that. And so I'll just have this as we're watching a show upstairs before turning in tonight. Like I said, I'm just gonna mix this in a blender bottle. I'm gonna warm this up. But this is my last meal, and that brought me to right around 100 grams of protein. If I add all the protein from like the rice and the pancake bake, I probably was right at 100, but I'm just adding like the actual protein sources for the day, and this is my total. Thank you so much as always for watching. I'm gonna shut down for the night, and I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye.